Hi friends, I'm Vidyashri. I have started Saurabhi's Education and Inspirational channel. If you are new to this channel, you can subscribe my channel to see education and inspiration related videos. In last class, I have discussed reproduction and their types in brief. Today, we discuss characteristic features of asexual reproduction in detail. Okay, so as we know, asexual reproduction is a type of reproduction where the single parent is responsible to give a birth to young ones. In case of this condition, gamete formation may occur or may not occur. And we see the details of these characters with the examples. So, very important and first basic characteristic feature you can see in asexual reproduction is involvement of single parent. Just an individual can give a birth to many offsprings or young ones. Example you can see, this is the amoeba and this is the aloe vera plant. Here there is a single amoeba, here there is a single parent plant. This single amoeba can give a birth to many offsprings by cell division. So we know this amoeba will make offsprings by a type of cell division called as mitosis. We know the mitosis is just a type of division will copy whatever the parent cell or will copy how the parent cell is there. Likewise, daughter cell will be formed. If you consider there is a 2n condition for the chromosomes, in the same manner there will be 2n condition even in a daughter cell. Okay, so in a mitosis process there are the phases, and we know there is a prophase, there is a metaphase, there is a anaphase, there is a telophase. And before these all phases, there will be an interphase where you can say the required materials will be duplicated or increased. So in a process of mitosis, in a S phase, DNA get duplicate and then required proteins etc. will be increased to share between the newly forming cells, and finally it enters prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and separation of the cells results in the formation of daughter cells. And in case of amoeba, this is a unicellular organism, and we know in case of unicellular organism, cell division itself is a mode of reproduction. You can say just by mitosis, amoeba will reproduce number of offsprings. Likewise, there are the organisms which belongs to monoreal kingdom. Okay, example bacteria you can say. Bacterium can make number of offsprings just by mitosis. Example we know E. coli. Okay, so E. coli is example for bacterium. In this picture you can see there is an aloe vera parent plant, and this parent plant has formed or produced number of offsprings at its base asexually. There is a single individual, only one individual is there, and it produced number of offsprings. Likewise, animals if you consider which are multicellular, hydra is an example of an animal that reproduces asexually. So in case of unicellular you can give example of bacteria and amoeba. In case of plants you can give examples of hydra for animal groups, plantae, aloe vera for plantae group. Okay, so next important characteristic feature is if gametes are formed but fusion will never occur. What is fusion that we need to know? Fusion is nothing but combination or mixing. And we know the gametes are nothing but germ cell or sex cell, we can say. There are two important sex, that is male and female. And in case of male, the gamete is called as sperm. And in case of female, the gamete is called as egg. So under this condition, that is, there are the formation of gametes, but gametes fusion will never occur, or for the fusion of gametes between opposite sex is called as fertilization. And in case of asexually reproducing organisms, just gamete will be formed, but it will never undergo fertilization. What happens in this case? If female gamete, that is egg, develops directly into an embryo without fertilization by a male gamete, then we can say this type of asexual reproduction as parthenogenesis. This is the one type of reproduction under this characteristic feature, where you can see in a honeybees, you can see in a lizards, you can see in some plants groups, you can see in insects such as aphid, you can see. In this picture, you can see a aphid that is giving birth to live young ones, and this follow the method called as parthenogenesis. In honeybees, if you consider, there is a drone honeybee that is nothing but male honeybee. Okay, and this male honeybee will be developed or will be formed as a result of directly development of female gamete, that is egg, into a embryo. Okay, so another method, if you consider under the same characteristic, there is a apomixis. So here the seed, it is nothing but development of seed without fertilization. As we know, in sexually reproducing organisms, seed will be formed after fertilization between opposite sex gametes. But in case of apomixis, fertilization will never occur between the gametes of opposite sex. If you consider the examples, mango is a great example for apomixis. Why? This is nothing but totally, this is an ovule, right? In this ovule there is an embryo sac, and this embryo sac is with a number of cells inside, and it is surrounded by a tissue called as nucellus tissue. This nucellus tissue having the cells that gives or secretes the nutrients, and these nutrients will be provided for the development of the cells and especially the embryo. This is an egg, and this egg will be fertilized by male gamete and develop into embryo if you consider under the sexual reproduction. But under asexual reproduction, instead of fertilizing and developing the gametes after fertilization into an embryo, just nucellus part, means other than gamete part, will involve in a process and make a embryo. Here, cell of a nucellus tissue will give a birth or will develop into a embryo. So in other plants, if you consider, citrus plants also will undergo or will come under apomixis type of reproduction, and in Asteraceae family you can see, in grasses variety you can see. Okay, so this is of second characteristic features and examples for the second characteristic feature. The third one is the formed offsprings are called as clones. So we need to know what the clones are, how they will be. So you can say the clones are nothing but the individuals with similar morphology and similar genetic makeup. What is morphology? Morphology is nothing but external appearance. So what all we can see, the outer appearance is called as morphology, and genetic makeup is nothing but the inner or the genes which are present in an organism, the total gene present in an organism, and the offsprings which are produced by a sexual method will be similar both morphologically and genetically compared with their parents. We can say they are nothing but exact copies of their parents. Why it is so? Because all these offsprings are producing just by a single parent. There is no involvement of any other gamete of opposite sex, and because of that there are no involvement of any other genes, and hence genetic mixing, genes mixing will never occur. That we call as recombination. It will come under sexual reproduction. In case of asexual reproduction, because of involvement of single parent, no genetic mixing or variation is occurring, and as a result of no mixing, genetic variation will never occur in the offsprings. Those are produced by asexual method, and hence you can say clones will not show genetic variation. Where you can see in the bacteria groups, you can say in an amoeba, or whichever you will consider asexually reproducing structures, all those are considered as clones. Question may come in a theory which is very important: why offsprings are called as clones, those reproduced by asexual method? Because you can say there is an involvement of single parent to give a birth to offsprings, and there is no mixing of genes with the opposite sex gametes, and hence those are exact copies of their parents both morphologically and genetically. Okay, so next you can say cell division in amoeba. Here this cell is divided into two. Before division, it has to synthesize. It's a cytoplasm. It has to synthesis phase, if you consider S phase. Okay, it has to synthesize, or it has to duplicate the DNA, and elongation of nucleus will occur, and then after sharing of the cytoplasm and etc., it will divide into two daughter cells, and if you compare the both will be similar with their morphology and genetics. The last characteristic feature is the asexual reproduction is a simple type of reproduction and produces more number of offsprings. You can see in the bryophyllum parent plant, and this parent plant has produced number of offsprings on its leaf tip. Okay, so this is within a short period of time during favorable condition. Asexually, organisms can reproduce more number of offsprings. Okay, so we discuss questions. These are theory questions. You can go through these questions and try to solve these questions. Then these are the neat questions. Okay, so which one cannot be included under basic feature of reproduction? Which is the answer? This is the answer. Why? DNA replication in case of mitosis, it will occur, and in unicellular organisms, cell division itself is a mode of reproduction. The next one is formation of reproductive units. It will occur. It is a basic feature of reproduction. Growth due to synthesis of more protoplasm. Cell growth will occur because of more protoplasm synthesis. And hence the answer is this. Why? Meiosis is never involved. They are telling meiosis will involve to form the gametes. Okay, gamete formation will involve the meiosis process. Okay, so as we know, which are the gametes? You can see the gametes such as sperm, okay, and egg. All these will involve meiosis process, and hence for the above question, this is the right answer. Next, clones are individuals. Those have exactly the same genetic makeup. Why? Lifespan will be different, physiology will be different, growth rate will be different between individuals, but genetic makeup, those produced by asexual method, are called as clones. Genetic makeup will be similar. Okay, asexual reproduction is seen in members of kingdom: A. Monera, B. Plantae, C. Animalia, D. all of this. Which is the answer? Monera, example, bacteria. You can see plantae, bryophyllum, etc. You can see hydra as example of animalia. You can see in the hydra too, which reproduces asexually. Hence, the answer is all of these. This is the right answer. I hope you understood the class. If you understood, don't forget to like and share my video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.